We're back for another Tales from the Road, and I'm joined this time by a special guest. We used to have a podcast together called My Funny Friends, and I had a blast doing it. He's also helped me run the last 4 years of Stone Cold Sober before we laid it to rest. It's Mr. Will Abeles.
Hello, Drew.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, of all the things you could have said, that was the nicest stuff.
Right. We've had fun over the years, man.
This man has almost given me a heart attack on
a few times,
on a weekly basis.
I feel like that was implied with we ran a podcast and a show together. You know, I figured people could read between the lines on
They
that.
could see just like a slight twitch in your eye come back. Like, did you always twitch like that?
So you've been all over the road, man. How you've been coast to coast, north to south, east to west,
Everywhere but the southwest, and that'll change in April.
There you go, man.
Yeah,
awesome. Well, I'm sure you have plenty of tales from the road, but do you have one particular one that sticks out for you?
I mean, it's mostly just me in my car screaming Taylor Swift and then screaming about Taylor Swift.
I do have to say that this man was so hyped up on energy drinks in Atlanta one time, he almost jumped out of the car in stop and go traffic.
I mean, look, Atlanta traffic needs something to you need something to entertain the folks around you.
Yes,
and I was like, if not now, then when?
Then when?
But no, man, road's been good, and it's been really awesome seeing all these different scenes, meeting all these different comics and stuff. Honestly, it's funny because it's been some of the more tame that I've been because I'm not drinking, so I'm just like
tones the adventures down.
So the little voice in my head that like normally when I'm drinking that goes, "Hey, there's about to be some chaos. You should go see where that chaos goes," or add into it. Doesn't happen as much. So I've mostly been like having these really cool conversations with just like regular people and stuff.
Awesome, dude.
Like for example, I was so last June, end of May into June, I toured. Was it 5, 6? Well, it's like 6 weeks in Asterisk. It was like 4 weeks on the road, like in my car, and then like 2 weeks of just like going other places.
Yeah.
But the cool part about that was like the shows were all great, like no complaints about the shows. But I was just meeting all these really interesting people, like just on the road, and like all these weird coincidences kept happening.
Yeah.
Like I was in Clark's Fork, Idaho. Which I believe Rob Wentz said he was from there. So like
that makes sense.
Yeah. He told me he was like, watch out for skinheads, and I was like, this is gonna be great.
The fact that we've met people like it makes sense that Rob Wentz is from Idaho, John Dollar's from Montana.
Yeah,
you know, like you see people and then they say where they're from, and you're like,
oh, this is what they look like. This is how they act.
This is how they act.
Yeah. So I was in Clark Fork. So I had this idea. So sometimes you got to go try things to find out they're a terrible idea.
I don't know if we share that opinion, but yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go on the road for 4 weeks, and I'm gonna camp for like half of it. And that part of the country is made for camping, but I wasn't like fully prepared to camp. Like,
camping's only as fun or as good as the equipment you have.
Yeah, right. So like I get to Idaho and I'm like, all right, it's gonna be like there's a site called Hip Camp, which is like Airbnb for camping.
Okay.
So you can like find cabins, you can find all this other stuff.
That's nice.
And so I found this site that I was like, oh, this will like I found this like campsite, in like the middle of nowhere, Idaho. I was like, okay, the first like 3 days of the tour was I had to drive to Omaha, which was like 16 hours, then from there to Rapid City, from Rapid City to Bozeman. So yeah, it's like 2 or 3 days of just nonstop driving
and nothingness. And driving through nothing.
The most beautiful, like once you get to a certain point, it is like one of the most beautiful sights you'll see. But you're just slowly
flat highway for a long time.
Yeah, and you're just kind of losing your mind for a bit until you get to like once you get past Kansas City, then it's like okay, we're good.
Yeah.
But so I was like, all right, I went up to Bozeman and we did Helena and we did a couple. Me and Adam Mamwala, I was opening for him. That was its own thing, which I'll get to in a sec. But I was like, all right, I'm going to need like to recharge for 2 days. I'll go camping. And in my mind, I was like, I'm going to get like a cool cabin and I'm going to get like a hot tub and blah, blah, blah. I didn't get any of those things. They were too expensive. So I got a campsite that I thought would have like a cool outdoor shower and there would be other people around and there'd be like a community. So I get there, no cell service. There's just a map and a walkie-talkie and a note from the camp owners that are like, hey, if anything comes up, use a walkie-talkie. You don't have any service up here. And I was like, oh, this isn't good. And so I go to my campsite. No one else is up there at this time because it's like the middle of the week. And I am by like a creek, which was cool. And the shower was like fine. Like the outdoor shower was actually pretty awesome. But you're just like, you're sitting by this creek. You're by yourself. and you're surrounded by like woods, and you're just kind of like cooking food, and you're like, oh, this is like when grizzlies attack.
Yeah.
Like this is
when grizzlies attack.
Yeah, like I've seen this, right? So
I've seen
I just kind of like, and at the time I was drinking, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna sit by this fire. I'm gonna drink until I go to sleep.
Gonna marinate myself.
Yeah, I'm just gonna marinate. And so, and the other thing is, at that time of year, it's light out until like 11 o'clock, and then it comes back out at like 4:30.
Oh wow!
So it's only dark for like 5 hours. So your sleep schedule is just all over the place. So go to sleep, wake up, and I'm like, I gotta get out of this campsite for like the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So I get down to. I finally find service somewhere. I think I get down to the main town. There's no. I run into like a local. The town itself has like 300 people in it. Like it's a super tiny town. Yeah. And
I just assumed all of Idaho had 300 people. So
besides like Boise, it does seem it gets And so I meet this like lady in the town. I was like, hey, is there like a coffee shop with Wi-Fi? And she's like, no.
What's the Wi-Fi? What's she talking about?
Yeah, she's like, there is a building I can get you into that would have Wi-Fi. It was like a community building or like it was part of the city council or something like that.
We send the emails once a week.
Yeah, kind of. And so she's like, you can go down to I find this other coffee shop that's like just outside of town. It's like literally like a toll booth that serves coffee. So I'm able to get service. I'm able to like check on my phone. I actually have texts from friends being like, you haven't posted on Instagram in 24 hours. This is just proof of life. Yeah. And I get coffee. I start talking to the person. She's like, oh, you got to go to Southport or Sandpoint. You got to go to Sandpoint. That's like the town. And she's like, it's about a half hour away. There's stuff to do there. I'm like, okay. So it's half hour away. I'm driving through. Beautiful. Get to Sandpoint. Town's only 10,000 people. It is drastically different from the town of 300 people. Yeah. There's like breweries. There's like comedy there apparently. Like I was like looking into that and I was like, am I going to try and pull comedy off? But I get there and I'm a single guy on the road. So you're like, well, let's just pull out the old dating apps. Let's see where we're at. So I'm flipping through Bumble in Sandpoint, Idaho, just like, just who will have me, right? And I match up with this person, and she just immediately was like, what are you doing in Sandpoint, Idaho? And I tell her everything. I'm like, well, I'm just traveling through and blah, blah. I'm staying here and blah, blah.
Not something like a grifter serial killer would say, just traveling
just
through.
Passing through. Yeah. I haven't shaved in like a week at this point, I'm just like, I'm like slightly smelly because I'm using an outdoor shower and like camp soap.
You can only get so clean.
Yeah. So we start talking and I I bounce around town all day, but I get back to the camp, and then I kind of do the same thing where I'm just sort of slowly slipping into madness and looking for cougars and stuff. Find out if I just walked like 100, like not even 100 yards, maybe like 70 yards, there were like other Airbnbs around me, but they're in the woods, so I just didn't see them. So once I found those, I was like, oh, I'm okay being here.
Yeah.
But it took me like
other people here.
Yeah, it took me exploring to find out these people were there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not something you see at night when you're trying to establish camp and get situated.
No, and you're just like the way this thing was set up, like you are just like there was like these bush leading into the woods, a creek, more woods, and then woods.
Yeah.
And so you're just like, okay,
woods on woods on woods.
I can't see that deep into it, so you're like anything could be watching me at this point.
Yeah.
So this person ended up just chatting for a minute, and then the next day, like she's like, well, let me follow you on Instagram. Like your journey sounds interesting. Find out. I saw that she went to Chapman University in Orange County, California, and we're about the same age. And I was like, "Oh, did you go to Chapman?" She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, did you know this person?" And she's like, "Yeah, they were in my sorority." And I was like, "Oh, this person I dated when I was in college." And I was like, "Wait a minute, were you at the Halloween party in 2010?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I was at the Halloween party." So we put it together. We partied together back in college, and this is like just, and we're still friends. We still talk all the time.
And she's in Idaho.
And she's in Idaho now. She's in LA, I think. But it was just the funniest. Like, so little things like that though kept happening, where there's these really like small thing of like, what are the odds that someone I dated in college
just reminding you that this is all a simulation?
Yeah. Man, if this is, I saw this on TikTok. It was like a noise on TikTok where it was like, if this is a simulation, can like I get some money?
Just like all the games I play, man, I got no money.
Yeah. I was like, just something. But so things like that kept happening. Where there's always like really small, like that was one that was like that really hit close to home. But there were these other little moments that you were just like, what? And it just, I don't know. The coolest thing about it was like it made the world feel a lot smaller in a good way, where you're
yeah, for sure. Like there's people out there that have my back no matter what part of the country I'm in.
Yeah. And you just find out that like you're not that far, it's like strange because, I've only been in the Pacific Northwest 2 or 3 times ever.
Beautiful up
Yeah,
there.
and it's gorgeous.
God, I
But
love
and then it makes this thing where it's like, oh, I found a new friend up there that's already a friend of someone else.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff like that, and then, but I'll tell you, I've been very well behaved on the road lately.
Look at you. I'm very proud of you.
I've been doing good.
I'm proud. This is a dude that we would go on the road together and call him in the morning. He's like, I'm like 4 towns over, man. I don't know what happened the other night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Like Charleston, I think about once a month and just.
Which part of Charleston? The day spa?
The only part.
The day spa?
Yeah, everything else was fine about Charleston, in my opinion.
That's why I was like, what are you talking about in Charleston?
That was the funniest part about this show.
And also, I understand the situation around Charleston. I was mad too. I just was doing the number game and realized how outnumbered we were.
And I was like, let's just burn it to the goddamn ground.
I wasn't not feeling the same rage you were. I was just like.
Well, and what's funny is you had a good set.
Because you just throw it to the wind.
It was one of those where so it was like, instead of like watching you and going, oh, that's what I should do. I should just do this set. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna get everyone really angry.
I'm gonna talk trash about the hairy dude.
But anyway, so I I did this 6-week tour. I mean, I've been touring nonstop, but like that was like the
big chunk of it.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on there. It was like I had tried getting sober, didn't work out that first time. Like just trying to, pretty much on the complete outs with the scene here at that time. Like, I was just like, what am I doing? And so I wanted to go do that trip because it was like, I need some time alone, some time away from Nashville, and just like, kind of be like, what am I doing with comedy?
Understandable, man.
Yeah, when you just kind of throw yourself into it like that, you sort of come out the other end and go, oh, okay, now I know what to do. And things have been getting progressively better since then, so it was a good call. But it was all these really cool experiences. Like, I was in Westport, Washington, and chatting at a bar because my show got canceled because the venue didn't tell anyone there was a show, but I got a free lodging.
Surprise comedy.
Yeah, I know, surprise. And turns out like the guy I'm talking about TV production because the guy next to me is an artist in town, and we're all just sort of talking about that kind of stuff. And this guy said something, and I don't know what it is, but something in my brain was like, this guy is somebody. And I was like, wait, is Westport known for The Deadliest Catch? And the guy's like, I'm the welder from The Deadliest. So things like that kept happening where I was like, what? This is crazy.
I'm waiting for you to tell me you had that Dierks Bentley song where he's at a bar talking to some random dude and the dude dies and leaves him like $1 billion. Like, I'm waiting for that scenario to happen.
You have no idea how I'm just praying for that to happen.
Yeah.
Praying for that. Dude, there was these 2 ladies, same town, because I'm just like I'm bar hopping. So I'm like, I have nothing to do in this town. I was here for shows, whatever. And there was these 2 old ladies that like you can tell have been on the docks for like 40 years, and they're best friends. Big blonde hair, tattoos, but the tattoos are getting faded because they're at that age. And we're the only 3 in this bar. And this waitress is. This bar's known for its Bloody Marys. They do those Bloody Marys that like give you like a meal. Yeah. So
get a whole chicken.
So one of the ladies orders one, and this bartender, there's 3 of us. I got a beer and a shot. The other lady got like a like mojito or something like that. This poor bartender took like 40 minutes to make this thing. And it's not like that complicated. It's a little complicated, but it's not that. It's a Bloody Mary, right?
I mean, it's just vodka and tomato juice, right?
Yeah, and she keeps saying like, "Oh, I'm a new mom, and I usually work the morning shift." And you're like, how do you not know how to make a Bloody Mary in the morning shift? Yeah. We're like, what are you talking about? And she just can't focus. The problem is she keeps like telling stories and she can't focus. And she keeps saying like, I have mom brave. And I'm like, oh, when she's saying I'm a new mom, she's meaning like, I'm thinking about my kids right now. I can't get focused, right? So she makes the whole thing, takes 45 minutes, hands it to this lady. And the lady goes, and she's about to drink it. And the bartender's like, stop, don't drink it. And she's like, I forgot to put in tomato juice. So what she filled it with was just the hot sauce, like just the hot mix. And the lady like looks at me and her friend and she's like, well, I gotta try it now. And like tries it, like almost just immediately throws up.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Hot
sauce, bro.
Me and her friend are howling with laughter.
Hot sauce and vodka?
Just hot sauce, like, and not a pint of it, a pint of hot sauce and vodka. And then, like, the owner comes over. He's like, what's going on? She's like, oh, this lady's having a hard time making my drink. He makes a drink, comps it, blah, blah. We start talking. Comedy comes up, obviously. And I say what I'm doing in town. And she's like, oh, you do comedy like Matt Rife? And I was like,
yes,
just like Matt Rife. And she's like, well, all right, they put dollars on this thing. So I'm buying you $1. Or she's like, I'm putting your name on this. I don't know. She made me sign $1 and they put it on the roof.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and then you got to sign one for me so I can take it with me in case you become famous. And I was like, that's kind of fun.
That's cool.
But anyway, stories like that, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to write all this down, and I just don't have the focus and all that kind of stuff. And so I decided I was going to do. It's a podcast, but it's essentially an audio journal. And just go through it and kind of day to day, because not only was I trying to rediscover, like, kind of find myself again, I was also like managing what I now know was a relapse the whole time.
Right.
And so you're on the road managing an anxiety attack, doing stand up by yourself. Money is as tight as it could possibly be. And that was last summer, and I've learned from it that just don't do comedy on the road June and July, because no one wants to go to a show unless you're like incredibly, like if you're like the Josh Johnson, Matt Rife level of like, we'll buy a ticket no matter what. There's no point in being on the road, which I didn't know until I went out and did it. And so now I'm doing this kind of audio journal thing where it's just each episode is, depending on where I'm at in the journey, like a day or a whole town or whatever it was. And then just kind of wrapping it up and talking about my experiences, the people I met, and just sort of for people that are also experimenting or trying to get sober, just sort of like it's okay to fail at this. It's going to take a lot of time, and that's something I also had to learn on there. So it's called Williker, and I'm trying to get it out by January 21st, but I'm waiting on the intro song, and it's a Nashville musician, so it'll probably be amazing, but it's a Nashville musician, so it might never get back to me. But that's hopefully fun. January 21st will be the first couple episodes, and
perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Where can they find you online?
Find me on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube at Will Abeles Comedy. And you can find me on Reddit at Stubbs McGee 88.
Fair enough. Reddit's a hellhole.
It's terrifying. But when it's good, it's good. When it's good, it makes you feel so good. When it's bad, you're like, I'm quitting. I'm quitting right now.
Yeah.